David Wilcock comments on Benjamin Fulford's latest article. August 4, 2015. Comment by David Wilcock on August 4, 2015 at 12:34 a.m. Haven't read this yet but just got out of a very interesting insider conversation, so it will be interesting to see how it matches up. Our website was hacked so badly that we still can't post over a week after it started. Someone did this to make it so we could appear to fix it, but then they could rewrite our pages at the root level. That means I will have to announce that anything on my site could have been changed. If attacks come out in the future that appear to be based on what I wrote, it is all open to tampering now. Very messed up. I imagine the cabal has planned this for others as well. This was one part of a multi-pronged attack I will be detailing in the next post. We are close to having a new server, but this was so bad it has taken the entire staff of our server's tech support to fix it. In the meantime, and not surprisingly, Cosmic Disclosure has shattered all existing viewership records at GayIMTV by a stunning amount. David comment by David Wilcock on August 4, 2015 at 12:37 a.m. Oh. Ben didn't say this, but the Iranian scientist contacted me first and his email contained the message Ben put in the opening paragraph. I forwarded his email to Ben and that was obviously what led to the call. David comment by David Wilcock on August 4, 2015 at 12:47 a.m. There are a variety of very intense attacks coming our way about the show. Let me just say this, we could not have done this without the help of GayIM. It would have only been the edited version of the 6 original hours I did. I do not need others to tell me what to think. I survey the data and make up my own mind. In this show I am asking Corey questions based on his personal experience and not interjecting much, if any, of what others have said, or my own commentary. You get to make up your own mind. All I can say is that the staff of GayIM was utterly convinced of Corey's credibility. And I have had a stunning amount of personal confirmation that the Blue Avians are the same beings that gave us the Law of One. For me now it is undeniable. So far it seems that the main criticism has come from others who feel we are encroaching on their own territory in any of a variety of ways. If what Corey is saying is true, we do not have to wait very long to hear this stuff. And it fits together so well with what other insiders shared with me, and which I never published, that I consider it to be impossible that this is anything other than the truth. David comment by David Wilcock on August 4, 2015 at 12:48 a.m. Also, Corey has stridently attacked I and the idea of transhumanism as the literal embodiment of Satan. We did 3 episodes exposing I on our last taping that will be out later this year, and it is also in his initial audio interviews. David comment by David Wilcock on August 4, 2015 at 12:52 a.m. The amount of attacks both of us have suffered is another strong indication that the cabal is doing everything they possibly can to try to stop this. I understand this is very hard for some people to accept. It is a very interesting story that logically grew out of everything else I've been doing online for the last 19 years. David comment by David Wilcock on August 4, 2015 at 2:48 a.m. I can't help but laugh when I see the way people twist and contort what is going on to fit their own agendas and beliefs. It is totally okay if you don't believe what Corey is saying. It is totally okay if you think I am a shill, a puppet, a NWO plant, whatever. No one in this field can ever hope to build a consensus. Vigorous debate is the norm. When my next article can finally be published, there is going to be a written Q&A I did where I addressed someone accusing me of being an NWO sellout. The bottom line is that the power of our collective consciousness is the single greatest weapon against the negative agenda. They know this and they do not want us to know this, because it is the key to their defeat. They use movies, video games, TV shows, political proclamations and media to seed imagination with thought forms of the objective they want to achieve. Then they use false flag terrorism in the hopes of activating will. The public has to consent, via their mass consciousness, to the desired outcome, whether it be taking away our guns, injecting us with poisoned vaccines, invading a country, starting wars of class, race, religion, etc. This same power is what allows 7,000 people to reduce war, terrorism and fatalities by 72%, just by meditating. When people say the Blue Avians are posing as saviors, nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, the SSP Alliance has been seriously angry, on multiple occasions, that the BAs are not doing more to help them out, or to protect them from their own karmic backlash if they act in negative ways. The SSP Alliance is a group that broke away from the cabal, and they all have serious damage from what they have had to go through in their lives. The BAs are only here to hold back the opposition enough that we can finish the job ourselves. I accept that people will continue to write extremely hurtful, judgmental and cruel things about me and the work I am doing. This is unfortunately a basic fact for anyone who tries to do anything to help the planet at this time. We all have to deal with it in our own ways. David comment by David Wilcock on August 4, 2015 at 3:04 a.m. Thank you for saying that. The saddest part for me is that in addition to being violently hated by so many, the people who have been making this planet a hell for us are doing everything they can to damage or kill us. Since this is a spiritual war, my actual murder has not been authorized, at least not yet, and there is interference when they try. Nonetheless, the amount of interference that passes authorization is quite astonishing. It is a true spiritual discipline to maintain a positive mindset in the midst of it, but I do the best I can. Hearing your supportive feedback does help. Some people enjoy being cruel and others are genuinely sociopathic. They are the cayenne pepper that adds spice to our soup. David comment by David Wilcock on August 4, 2015 at 5:15 a.m. I do not own DivineCosmos.info and have no control over what it says. David comment by David Wilcock on August 4, 2015 at 5:29 a.m. KP note, in checking the previous comments, I believe David is referring to this link. It is also possible, MO, that it could be referring to the owner of this anti-Blue Avian/Corey/DW forum. This person is centrally involved in a cell of about 40 people who are doing everything they can to try to spin, disinform and distort the information. No one ever talked about Blue Avians until this happened and now they act as if this was known all along. This guy was a buddy of mine, as an insider, and said too much. He got in massive trouble with his handlers. Now there are multiple defectors from the cell who want to come forward and reveal how deeply they were lied to, manipulated and fed stories and strategies to attack. Neither Corey nor I will publish the defector words, because we do not want to get embroiled in this. Nonetheless their testimony is quite damning. I'm actually more concerned about the guy himself being hurt. I still like him as a person despite what happened, which he is calling a difference of opinion. I consider this stuff all to be harmless. It is okay if you do not like my work. That does not obligate me to get into a mud wrestling match about it. David comment by David Wilcock on August 4, 2015 at 5:33 a.m. It is a humorous reflection on the state of our world that many of the people who write the nastiest stuff are being paid far more than the people they attack for making money. David comment by David Wilcock on August 4, 2015 at 5:35 a.m. LOL. I wrote that before seeing the above. You are right, Dina. It's just a website. Everyone is free to read it or ignore it as they choose. I have more important things to do. I will focus on the people who do appreciate what I write, which is about 99% of the audience, statistically. David comment by David Wilcock on August 4, 2015 at 5:37 a.m. I must admit it is fun to engage haters for old time's sake once in a while. The most remarkable thing about them, after all these years, is that nothing ever changes what they say. Not even slightly. Thus it is fruitless to argue with them. I wish I had more time to do more, but such is the case. I am definitely getting back in the game again despite the incredibly crushing opposition we have faced. Go on my website right now. None of the David's blog pages load. That is because we were hacked. The server company has never seen anything like it. We are 9 days in and no closer to a solution. David.